Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's your favorite coach and analyst, Scott Scoot Belmont, back with a video about drafting for Clash. Now, we finally have that 5v5 that we've been wanting since Riot has actually gotten rid of ranked 5v5s. I really miss those days. But what can you do? Well, we can kick and scream and beg until we finally get Clash. And Clash is going to be that game mode that we can get together with our friends and finally actually run into tournaments. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, a lot of you might not even care. A lot of you might not just be looking to win prizes. But for those of you who do want to win prizes, or at least have some semblance of a fighting chance instead of just picking your comfort picks, I'm going to help you help yourselves in drafting for Clash. Now, I'm sure a lot of you watch LCS and will probably think, oh, I don't need something like this. I'm pretty good when it comes to, countering picks and bans, which, that's fine, but you're not as good as the pros unless you are Challenger, in which case, you probably don't need to watch this video. But a lot of you are probably going to be, platinum through gold or silver. So I think a lot of advice you will have been given was just play your comfort picks and you'll be okay. But you can't really do much as a Katarina in this elo because she's not very good. So I am going to start off by kind of explaining three very basic team compositions and how they can all interact with each other, because it's going to be like a rock paper scissors kind of thing. First one is going to be the pick comps. The second comp is going to be team fighting comp, and the third comp is going to be the scaling comp. Now, the pick comps will be things like Ezreal and Morgana, or Jhin, or Jace, or Malzahar. A lot of champions that can put out long range damage and then have that follow up for when Morgana hits a binding, for when Elise will hit a stun. And this is going to be better than the scaling comp, which I'm going to get into next. The scaling comp are champions like Swain or like Karthus, or those champions, or Vayne, for example, Yasuo, those champions that are really weak in the early game and are just completely abusable, gangplank, and you're gonna have them under tower, and you're gonna think, haha, I'm up 30 CS, this is gonna be easy, and then by the time 30 minutes comes around, they all kill you, and it's like, oh, what happened? Well, Karthus has fully stacked Tyr and Roa, so there's not much we can do about it. The reason why poke is better, or pick and poke is better than scaling, is because pick and poke has a very, very strong mid game. That is when a lot of those champions will be spiking with their 2 item spikes, like a Corki with his Infinity Edge and Trinity Force, or an Ezreal with Trinity Force and whatever the hell else he buys. And they can really take advantage of when the scaling comp is at its weakest and be able to rotate across the map, force fights when that scaling comp does not want to fight, and then just, win the game purely by out rotating and out team fighting, out skirmishing the enemy team. Now, the scaling comp is going to be better than the hard engage comp. The hard engage comp is things like Zac, things like Sion, things like Alistar, champions that want to just go in with their entire bodies and just fuck everything up. Galio comes to mind, Camille comes to mind. These are champions that want to just jump right onto your entire team with those 5-man knockups and those huge stuns and the giant, CC trains. And you might think to yourself, well, shit, our entire team just got CC'd for 5 seconds straight. There's really nothing we could have done about that. And the reason why they are better than pick comps is because pick comps generally only have single target CC. You think about Morgana binding, you think about Lux binding, which can hit 2 people. Okay. You think about Elise stun, which can normally hit one person. Only hit one person. Think about Poppy stun, which can only hit one person. And those things are pretty good, but they're going to be outclassed when Galio jumps in on all 5 of you, knocks all of you up, and then Zac kidnaps all 5 of you, drops you back down, and then, oh, look at that, there's their ADC. Doesn't really matter who it is. That's just destroying us because we all could not move. The reason why scaling comps are better than teamfight comps is because scaling comps, think about it. Do you really want to jump in versus Karthus versus Swain versus Anivia versus Braum versus, champions that can kite backwards, or champions that just deal so much damage or are so super tanky that there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it doesn't matter if you CC Cho'Gath for 5 seconds straight because he still has 10k HP left. Thanks, Gargoyles. So, those are team fights where you'd probably want to try to get picks, but because you're so all in with, your full body, unless the enemy team makes a mistake in, where they're positioning, it's going to be very difficult to actually win team fights against giant AoE damage like, Karthus Defile, or just Azir damage with his soldiers, things like that. So, with all of that being said, we're going to just quick go over it again. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock would be hard engage team fight. Paper would be scaling. Oh no. Sucked up the rock. But paper is also going to get cut down by the poke. But poke is going to get smashed in by that rock. So, I think I made my point now. So I'm going to show you a video of a pick and ban that I simulated, where I want to help you recognize when you might want to change your game plan, or trying to recognize what the enemy team is going to be doing, so you can adapt and see, how you can avoid making mistakes in drafting. And I guess I'll just show it to you and explain along the way. So we have the blue baboons versus the red goons. Blue baboons are going to be our team. Let's say we are on the blue baboons, and we're all thinking, yeah, we want to pick something that scales well. So we're going to get rid of that, pick champion, or, good team fighting champions. So let's get rid of Ryze. We really don't like Ryze because of his ability to just click W on us, and then his entire team can follow up and kill us. We notice the red goons ban Sejuani. Okay, she's a power pick right now. She's OP, we don't really care. Next, we're going to ban Malzahar, because again, we really hate how he can just flash forward, hit that R button, and then kill us all. So, or not even kill us all, just kill one of us, and then make it into a 4v5 team fight. Red Goons banned Braum. Okay, we really don't care that they banned Braum. I mean, that might be something we would have wanted to pick, considering we want to be scaling, and he's really good in late game team fights, but we don't really care. Tahm Kench, I think we don't like Tahm Kench because his ability to just save someone in the nick of time, no matter what, is really tilting. So, and we want to go for our super strong ADC that's going to deal a lot of damage. Red Goons, they ban Taric. We're wondering, why are they banning Taric? Well, we pick Xayah because that's what we know we want. We want Xayah first pick. She's one of the strongest ADCs right now. She scales insanely well into the late game, and early game she has really good tower pushing ability. But now we get scared. We think, shit, they just picked Skarner. What are we going to do now? Well, Skarner can be dueled by the likes of Olaf, so he's not really super strong, but we see the Morgana hover now, and we're thinking, oh shit, Skarner Morgana, Black Shield on Skarner, Skarner just runs in, picks someone. We don't like that. So, we also notice Red Goons made a mistake. The Red Goons did not pick Rakan. They didn't try to pick it away, they didn't try to ban it. Why did they ban Taric and they didn't ban Rakan? So, we think, okay, we're going to take Rakan because Xayah Rakan is one of the strongest the strongest duo bot lanes in the game right now. Plus, Rakan has really good hard engage with his ultimate knock-up combo. It might get countered by Morgana with one person, but again, that's only one person. We also want to follow up by picking Zac. Zac is the hard initiator. We already recognize that the Red Goons are trying to go for a pick comp here, so we're thinking to ourselves, alright, if they want to go pick, we'll go full-on engage. And it's a good thing we already banned away Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench is really good into the likes of Zac and Rakan. The Red Goons, they don't really try to adapt. They're like, alright, we're just going to get Jhin Morgana, which is a very oppressive bot lane. We might struggle against that, but if we can get ganks from Zac, Jhin is going to die every single time. The Red Goons say, okay, we know they're going for some team fighting right now, and they recognize that we want to hard engage, so they're going to ban Galio. It's a smart ban on their side. We're asking ourselves, what champions do we not want to see? What disengage do we not want to have there? Azir. He just puts up the wall, pushes you all away, and now we have nothing. So we're going to ban away Azir. We're thinking, okay, they banned Gangplank because at level 6, he gets a giant AoE ultimate. Excuse me. So we think that's a smart ban from the Red Goons. We're still thinking they need a little bit more damage to follow up, and we don't really like how they're going pick and poke right now. So we're going to take away Jace, which is massive damage, great ability for Skarner to follow up with that giant gate with the move speed. So we think that's going to be a smart ban. The Red Goons, though, have something up their sleeves, and they're going to pick Poppy. We're thinking to ourselves, well, shit. That's really good into hard engage. So now they have Peel for their poke. We're kind of struggling right now. We think, okay, Orianna's a very safe pick. We don't know what their mid laner is, and we don't really want to get countered by it. So we're going to go with Orianna. She's very safe. She has, extra shields for Zac. You can wombo with her. She gives a little bit more move speed too. And her team fighting is pretty nuts. Safe laning phase. We think, okay, this is going to be okay for us. Our last pick, we're kind of shaking. We don't really know what we want. Against Poppy, I think we're going to go for something a little lane dominant in Sion. Sion is pretty good into Poppy because he can out-trade her when it comes to the poke game. He can out-CC her when it comes to his giant AoE CC, as opposed to her single target knockback into maybe she gets multiple people with her ultimate. It's a pretty thin ultimate, I'm not going to lie. But now, we also recognize Sion can actually ignore Poppy's W. So we think Sion will engage, Poppy might pop her W, and then Zac and Orianna can follow up. And now I'm going to pause this because it's going to stop itself. But we see the Red Goons draft Taliyah last. We don't really care that they have Taliyah. It's just a little bit more poke and a little bit more roaming that they're going to have. And we don't like that, but we are pretty confident in our hard engage of Zac, Rakan, Sion. If Sion can keep Poppy away from the rest of the team, then Rakan and Zac can engage whenever they like with the follow-up from Orianna and Xayah. So this is a pretty safe team comp from the Blue Baboons right now. I think we're pretty happy with this into the Red Goons. Sure, they might be able to duel us early on in our own jungle if Morgana and Skarner roam together. But overall, I think, again, if Sion can bait out Poppy W when he engages, or if he can just crush her so hard in lane that it doesn't really matter that she even exists, then our team fighting is going to be massively better than them. Even if they do get the Poppy ultimate or her W off onto Zac, onto Sion, we still have a very good ability to peel away with the likes of, Orianna, shield and move speed, with the likes of Xayah's ultimate, which just makes her untargetable. So, overall, I think the Blue Baboons have a pretty good team comp. Now, if we go back and kind of go over... Oh, looks like the screen froze. Never mind. Go over this pick and ban phase one more time, if it ever wants to move forward. Okay, it's not going to move forward. We can kind of go over again, where these two teams made mistakes and how we can capitalize on them. So, the Red Goons, we can kind of deduce that the reason they're banning Sejuani, Braum, and Taric is because they recognize those champions as being really good at disengage. And they don't want those champions that can disengage, that can, save someone from being poked. And they're probably thinking, oh shit, they banned Tahm Kench for us. Perfect. So the Red Goons are pretty happy right now. Picking Xayah first, I think, is okay in any given situation, any given team comp, unless you want to go specifically for a little bit more poke. In which case you would pick something like an Ezreal, but we already know that the Baboons want to pick scaling ADC. The Red Goons, Skarner, Morgana, this is pretty smart on their part. They probably could have held off on picking Skarner if they wanted to and just picked Morgana something else. But when we see Skarner Morgana picked by the Red Goons, I think completing Rakan, because if it goes to the second phase, they might ban Rakan themselves. Completing the Xayah Rakan is a pretty good decision. And then picking Zac on top of it, because again, if we go to the next phase, they might ban Zac, Galio, and then we'd have to default to something like Jarvan, which he can get blown up, and it's one of those things where it's like, Skarner's happy with, okay, you just engaged by yourself into us with no follow-up, which you might be able to say for the likes of, what we draft later in Zac and Sion, but with the help of Orianna and I think the dive buddy of Rakan, he's going to struggle a little bit more. Jhin from Red Goons, I really don't like how they picked this after already seeing Rakan and Zac, because he's in a mobile ADC. You might want to pick something like an Ezreal, because he is mobile, and yeah, you can argue Morgana can just Black Shield the Jhin, but then now Morgana doesn't have Black Shield, and now she's gonna die, whereas she can just Black Shield herself, and then Ezreal just shifts and walks away. Now, I think the Blue Baboons here should have tried to recognize, instead of trying to ban some more poke, because they're good into poke. Jace, I mean, you just engage onto Jace and kill him. They should have tried to look for something better to ban that has that disengage. Like, sure, Braum and Taric are already gone, but they should have recognized, what really counters hard engage. And Poppy is one of those champions. Ornn might be one of those champions too, because, if you go in on him, that giant ass ram just comes across the screen, and then you all get knocked up anyway. So I feel like that's safer to play into, because Poppy just straight up denies you if she hits that W. So Blue Baboon's not very good with that Jace ban right there. Hello.
My new video.
You are now, but don't worry about it. This video is probably going to get downvoted on Reddit anyway.
Hell yeah. Reddit.
Don't say hi to them. They don't deserve it. But yeah, I was just talking about, what do you think of these team comps as a layman?
As a layman? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Alright, as a Diamond 2 peak, what do you think of these team comps?
Well, Morgana Jhin versus Xayah Rakan just gave each other the two best bot lanes in the game. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Fucking Blue Baboons team fight is so much better. Holy shit. You get the Rakan engage into a Zac, into an Orianna, and then into Sion for just like cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. They probably scale harder too. I wouldn't say that, but like, goddamn.
What do you think of picking Poppy and Taliyah into this hard engage to try to,
I mean, if they can play around the map and keep them from doing 5v5s, like, Taliyah's got the insane rooms that Orianna doesn't have, so if you can get the other lanes, like, if you can get Jhin and Morgana snowballing, even Skarner, they won't even be able to have that much power in team. It's gonna just like, oh, one of them comes in, Black Shield, Skarner, fucking ult, whoever, to fuck up the entire team fight.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who Skarner ults.
It's more like a disruption comp. Then you have Poppy countering Rakan and Zac.
Yeah.
So, like, I think
it just comes down to how these team fights get played.
Yeah. Well, Red did their best with what they were given.
Yeah. I tried to simulate it so that it's like Red from the start wanted to go for pick
Skarner comp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that game we were watching the other day where they picked Skarner Morgana for themselves, but they were countered by like Zac Ziggs. Yeah. This is a good draft for both sides. I would know because I did both of them. Ha ha ha. But yeah, if you want to play Clash this upcoming weekend, I hope this was somewhat helpful to you in a little bit of any kind of way. Your team comps might completely differ because you prioritize different champions, or maybe you don't care about being countered by team comps and just want to play the game however the fuck you want to, which more power to you, man. But for those of you who want to take it seriously and want to be a little bit more competitive, I hope my explanation and my going over this draft was knowledgeable. And, you know, if it wasn't, feel free to flame me on my YouTube channel, because that's all retards do nowadays. Thanks for watching. I don't have much else to say except for support Pineapple Express versus Zaga Talent Friday at 6 p.m. I think it is Eastern Standard Time. Pineapple Express.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more Minecraft content. Make sure you turn on the notification bell icon to stay updated whenever I post some new videos. That's literally every fucking YouTuber nowadays.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Get the fuck out of here. Let's play games.
Okay, thanks.